Hello, Jack Lyons, Senior Vice President of Sales with Amwins Connect. I'm excited today to be joined by David Parker, Senior Sales Executive with Cigna Oscar, for another episode of Coffee with Carriers. Welcome to the set, David. It's great to have you today.
Thank you, Jack. Definitely excited to be here. I want to talk about what we have going on with Cigna Oscar across the country, as well as what we have locally here in California.
I'm really excited to spend some time with you talking about Cigna Oscar. And I think sometimes we forget here locally, Cigna Oscar is a large organization that has a national footprint. So before we kind of talk about some of the local things that you're doing, I'd really like to hear about your national approach.
Yeah, definitely. So Cigna Oscar is currently in 8 states across the country. So not just here in California, we're in 8 states across the country. Great news to share with you guys today is that as of January 1st, 2023, we're actually having an expansion. We are introducing the Cigna Oscar portfolio over in the Pennsylvania region and handling the membership there in the Philadelphia metropolitan area.
Perfect. Well, congratulations on your expansion. And one of the nice things about expansion and growth is that you're able to help your business partners in different markets. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is partnership. Can you kind of talk to me about Cigna Oscar's approach on partners?
Of course, partnership is definitely key to the success in our industry. Part of our growth strategy is making sure that we align ourselves with high quality healthcare systems, payers, and general agencies like yourself, making sure that they see the same vision that we see in regards to the consumer-driven market that we currently have at the Cigna Oscar. Also, definitely seen a lot of individuals looking to have access to the Oscar experience, and being able to share that with you today is definitely going to be a great idea for me here.
Perfect. Well, I'm really excited to hear about that. And also, I just want to say thank you so much for your commitment to our partnership as a general agent. We're grateful for it, and we're really excited to be able to work with you to bring your products to market here locally. But one of the questions I have to ask, I'm going to stick with the partnership topic, is why Cigna as your partner?
Definitely. So this is a great entryway for Oscar to get into the employer market with a partner that's definitely been around for over 200 years, with brand recognition with not only employers, but with brokers in the community as well. And for the Cigna piece of it, it was definitely an organic growth for them to be able to get into the small group market with a carrier that they felt that the technology was what they were looking for. So they saw Oscar as far as the technology that we provided as a differentiator in the market, and it was just an easy pathway for them to get back into the small group market.
Perfect. That makes a lot of sense. And I think it's also really resonated with the brokers and employers in the California market. So great work there. One of the things too that I wanted to talk about is, as a new organization, or relatively new organization in the California market, especially when you look at the group market, can you spend a couple minutes talking to us about who does what and kind of who's part of your organization?
Great question. So again, we have the Cigna piece of it, and we have the Oscar piece. It's a 50-50 risk share between these two carriers. And what's happening is Cigna is going to be providing the name that's been around for over 200 years, as I've mentioned. They're also providing the networks that we're utilizing as well. In addition to that, just know that any plan that you write with Cigna Oscar is going to be written on Cigna's paperwork. So we're utilizing their license and their financial ratings. And as far as the Oscar piece of it, it's the people that support this joint venture. So me, myself, I'm an Oscar Health employee. So from the sales executives to the care team to the broker support team, those individuals are going to be Oscar Health employees. In addition to that, we're supplying the technology. Now that's the technology that not only the brokers use, but it's also the technology that the members are going to be using on a day-to-day basis, as well as our business administrators out in the industry.
Well, it sounds like the strategy is a good one. You're coupling the strengths of Cigna with the strengths of Oscar to deliver a consolidated product to the market. So great approach, and I'm really excited to see how it resonates in the market over time. Not that it hasn't already, but great move. I'm really excited about it.
No, we're definitely excited about it, and like I said, just stay tuned for more information as we go along.
So expansion is always a good thing. It presents another opportunity for you and your organization to help your clients and serve their specific needs. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you before we move away from expansion is, are you able to give us all 9 states alphabetically?
I can definitely make a try at it. Arizona, California, Connecticut, Georgia.
Hey, I'm already impressed, so great job there. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and now Pennsylvania coming up. I think I got most of them there, I think.
Perfect, great job. One of the things that you and I have talked about during the course of our relationship is your dedicated care team. It's so important to be able to provide the service and be there at the point of need and expectations for your clients. Would you mind expanding on that a little bit?
The dedicated care team is one of my favorite subjects. I mean, it's what sets us apart from the competition, and it's how we have members access their care. Each member that is enrolled with Cigna Plus Oscar gets a dedicated care team. It consists of 5 individuals. You're going to have 4 care guides, which are going to be their concierge customer service reps. In addition to that, if they have any clinical issues, they're going to have access to a registered nurse. So at any point in time, they can open up their mobile app. They're going to see the faces of the 5 individuals that's assigned to that member. They're not going to have a general 800 number where they're going to contact and get anybody who answers the line. They're going to be able to see the faces of those 5 individuals that are on their team. And what that does is it builds a relationship between the carrier and the member versus that member having to go to their HR department, which in small group a lot of times is non-existent, or contacting their broker. So what we're trying to do is save time for those members and have them build a relationship with our care team, again, that goes above and beyond, provider education, helping with appointments, whatever that member needs, they're going to go above and beyond to help that member.
You and I do this for a living. We're experts, and we know how challenging the process and system can be when you need to access care. And so, what a great tool and resource to be able to give to your members, that they can have a specific person or persons within your organization that they've built a relationship with to help them in their time of need. So great resource. We definitely need to be talking about that more often, and it's something I think that separates you in the marketplace.
I agree. I mean, again, these folks are they're waiting for you guys to call as far as the members. They are there to assist. They're actually located here in Arizona, so they're not going to be overseas. They're not going to be anywhere else. They're located directly here in the United States, willing to go ahead and talk to the members. And then also keep in mind too that not only do you have the ability to contact them via phone, but via the mobile app, you can also chat with your team as well.
Great. So having multiple ways to interact and connect with them is very useful. So again, great resource, and one we definitely need to be talking more about in the marketplace.
I agree.
And I know one of the things that sets Cigna Plus Oscar, and we'll just say Oscar, apart in the marketplace is your technology and also your administration. And so when you look at your technology and your administration, what do you think is unique, and how does it set you apart in the landscape of other carrier partners?
So the great thing about the Oscar experience and the technology that we developed is that we were able to build this from the ground up, basically keeping the consumer in mind and keeping the broker in mind for the present day broker and the present day business administrator, where a lot of the carriers have had systems that have been around for 50 plus years or even longer than that. So our system was designed definitely to make sure that it's making it as easy as possible for brokers to do business with us and to have business administrators working with us as well. When a general agent like yourself is submitting a case over to Cigna Plus Oscar, those groups are being approved in less than 24 hours. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean, and many times I'm telling you, we have groups that are 70 plus lives, and within an hour I'm looking back and that group's already been approved. So definitely exciting to share that. And part of that technology is just making sure that when you as a general agent, you submit the case, all the information that we need is already in the system ready to go. So basically we have somebody kind of review that group, make sure everything is in line, and approve that case accordingly. And then based on that, the implementation process is easy as well, because everybody's already in the system. You guys have uploaded the census and the members are all there. We just got to click that button to go ahead and issue the ID numbers. And typically by the end of the day, we have ID numbers ready for your members to have access to.
And I will attest to that. I work with our underwriting and implementation team quite frequently, and they sing your praises as an organization. Easy to work with, connectivity is there, responsiveness and timeliness is key. And I would even say in Q4, you guys have been able to maintain that 24-hour turnaround timeline.
I would agree with that. Last year in fourth quarter, we were definitely still within that 24 hours. I mean, we do say 24 to 48 hours, but definitely I would say that most of those were being approved within 24 hours.
It's exciting. And it's really important too. I think sometimes we lose sight of the implementation process because there's members behind the implementation that need to access care and make sure that they're getting to their doctors in a timely fashion. So that technology means a lot, not only to our broker partners in our relationship, but ultimately to the consumers themselves.
Yeah, and the great thing, like you said, members are looking to have access to care, and a lot of times some of those groups are submitted after the first of the effective date. So just keep in mind that once you have an ID number, members are going to have access to their ID card. So the broker, the general agent, the member themselves can also look up their mobile application, or you guys can log into the portal and actually get that ID card right there from the system.
And I know it's no easy feat building the technology and the infrastructure to make that happen.
I agree.
So thank you. I'm going to shift our conversation a little bit. We've talked about Cigna Plus Oscar and Oscar broadly, nationally, but I want to shift now to more locally to California. Can you talk to me about your experience and your plans here over the last year to 2 years?
Things are going really great here in California. Our membership is continuing to grow tenfold in just a short period of time. We're definitely looking to continue to expand our membership here in California. And then also just know that on our last earnings call, we had over 50,000 members across the country that are now enrolled with Cigna Plus Oscar. So people are definitely taking a look at us. I mean, brokers, I mean, they're not being kind of forced to at this point in time to kind of take a look at this new thing out in the market.
Well, and I think that's a testament to your organization and your commitment to the state of California. Trust me, the industry has taken notice of Cigna Plus Oscar, so good job there. One of the things that I hear about pretty frequently is about your two networks. Would you mind spending a little bit of time clarifying those networks and what makes them unique and different?
Of course. So again, we partnered with Cigna because of the fact that they had the ability to offer not only a broad network, but also a narrow network. That is definitely something that's needed in small group. So we have two networks, as you mentioned, that's available here in California. We have our Local Plus, which is an EPO in-network plan only, and that was previously only available to California residents for California employers. However, as of July 1st, members now have the ability to enroll out of state on this Local Plus plan as long as there is a Local Plus service area. And then just so you know, there's about 20 different states across the country where that Local Plus service area is. And then in addition to that, we have that nationwide PPO. That's going to be the Open Access Plus. And this is the same exact network that Cigna Large Group utilizes. They have some of the most prestigious employers across the country on this network now. So we're definitely excited to have that in our portfolio. And again, giving members the ability to have the option between that EPO Local Plus as well as the PPO Open Access Plus is definitely a great opportunity for brokers to take a look at the Cigna Plus Oscar product. And then also just quick note real quick, just a kind of reminder, our EPO Local Plus network is also available within the CalChoice portfolio as well.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so definitely excited about that.
Network options and variations are so important to the California marketplace, especially with a variation in price points. And it's nice to know that Cigna Plus Oscar has the ability to service out-of-state members in a low-cost network. So great value add to your portfolio and options for consumers in California. The buzz on the street right now is that Cigna Plus Oscar has some of the most flexible underwriting guidelines. Would you mind spending a couple moments talking to me about what's unique and different about your approach?
We're definitely trying to make it as easy as possible to do business with Cigna Plus Oscar. So I think we have some very lenient underwriting guidelines that are out there right now. So if you do have a group that is 3 or more enrolling with Cigna Plus Oscar, no DE9C, no payroll, no prior carrier bill. That's not a promo. That is what we have currently written in our underwriting guidelines. Until, of course, they make changes, but at this point in time, it is 3+ enrolled, no DE9C. And then also keep in mind that you can mix and match any 4 plans. No restrictions, no limitations in regards to that. You can put any metallic tier together. You can put any of the networks together. You can have 3 Open Access Plus alongside 1 Local Plus, or vice versa. And in addition to that, also know that we are trying to be very lenient in regards to startup groups as well. So as I mentioned just previously, that if you have a group 3 or more, no DE9C required. That's going to apply to virgin and startup groups as well.
Okay.
So if you have a group that's enrolling less than 3 though, all we need is 2 weeks worth of payroll prior to the requested effective date.
So what I've heard from you today is great partnership between Oscar and Cigna, great network options, great technology, great underwriting flexibility, but what it really boils down to at the end of the day, in a lot of ways, is your competitive position. Can you talk to me about your rating position now and how it kind of looks as you move forward?
So Jack, if I told you that I was very competitive and you have everything else that we just talked about, there should be no reason not to sell Cigna Plus Oscar.
True.
So just know that we are definitely, on the PPO market. We're looking at PPO business. Make sure you're thinking of us as slices as well. Again, 3+ enrolled with Cigna Plus Oscar, 60% between the other carriers. And then back to your price point question. Yes, we have that pricing as well. So looking at comparable plan options in the market, looking at our platinum plans, our bronze plans, we're double-digit savings in many areas across the state. Let's take LA where we are today.
Okay.
In Los Angeles, looking at my platinum PPO option, comparing it to a competitor's plan option, I'm anywhere from 11 to 40% less than the competition. That's what the major carriers here in Los Angeles. So again, definitely make sure that you are looking at Cigna Plus Oscar. If you're not, there are other brokers that are going to be looking at it for you.
Well, great. It's good to hear. Rates are very, very important, but when you overlay all the other things that we've talked about, it definitely makes you a great fit in the marketplace, and we're excited to have you. One of the things that I did want to touch on, and I think it kind of gets overlooked from time to time, especially in the landscape that we are in now as consumers, is your virtual urgent care tools. Can you talk to me a little bit about how members use that tool and what makes it unique?
We definitely talked about the dedicated care team and how the members can access that team at any point in time. But we also have virtual urgent care. And what's unique in regards to our virtual urgent care is that it's our board certified physicians. There's no third-party application that members need to download. They don't need to put in a credit card information. All they do is download the Oscar Health app, And at that point in time, they can either access their care team, or if they feel it's more necessary to contact a physician and maybe looking for a prescription, then they can definitely contact our virtual urgent care. And as little as less than 15 minutes, members have access to that. It's available at no cost 24/7 for our non-HSA members.
Okay.
For HSA members, there is a small cost associated due to regulations, but that's going to be as low as $38 for that HSA member.
Great resource, and I'll be honest with you, virtual care is a big resource and one that's growing. So I'm glad that you have a comprehensive program there, and the zero copay doesn't hurt any.
It does not. So a lot of things that people were asking about today is about mental health as well. So just know that we've partnered with Talkspace for virtual mental health providers as well. So if somebody wants to have a visit in the comfort of their own couch at home, they have the ability to go ahead and do that utilizing Talkspace.
That's a great resource as well, and I think one that's overlooked a lot in our industry in general. So I really do appreciate the fact that you guys have made investments there. It's so important to the marketplace and your consumers as well. Well, I'm really excited to hear that Cigna Plus Oscar is making investments in the mental health area. I think it's one of the underdeveloped part of our industry, and seeing that your financial commitments and your organizational commitments, I think, is a great thing for consumers in California.
I agree as well. I mean, I think that is definitely something that's been underlooked, and I like the idea that at Cigna Plus Oscar, we have the traditional approach where you can go into the provider's office and seek that care. In addition to that, you have that Talkspace that's available to have that visit at the comfort of your own couch at home.
Yeah, great tool, great resources. And I love the fact that you're there where the member needs you to be and when they need you to be.
Of course.
So we are having this conversation on the eve of our Super Bowl, our industry Super Bowl, and that's Q4. What's the one thing or two things that you would like the market to know about Cigna Plus Oscar as they move into Q4?
So we've talked about great networks utilizing Cigna's nationwide network of providers. We've talked about the way that we approach customer service in regards to our dedicated care team. We talked about virtual urgent care, and we talked about our rates. So right now, we already have double-digit savings across many areas across California. Going into Q4, we have a rate pass on all plans, all metallic tiers, across all Cigna Plus Oscar rating areas.
Very nice. So I'm really excited to hear about your rate pass. I think that positions you extremely well for Q4. And then when you couple all the other things that we've talked about today, success in Q4 sounds very likely for your organization. And for brokers that are not taking a deeper look at you, they should be.
I agree, and we're definitely excited about what we have coming in Q4 and then also in the future coming into Q1 as well.
So David, I've really enjoyed our time today. Thank you so much for being here. I also want to thank you for your partnership and your commitment to our relationship, both here locally, but more broadly as both of our organizations. And I'm excited about what we've talked about today, and think you're positioned extremely well for growth, and look forward to being on that journey with you.
Jack, I appreciate your time here as well today. It's definitely been a great experience. I want to thank you for your partnership as well. As I mentioned in the beginning of the conversation, partnership is a key to our success in the industry. So we definitely appreciate that. We look forward to a very successful Q4 and a Q1 going forward.
And I also want to thank the viewers for joining us for another episode of Coffee with Carriers. We look forward to seeing you again soon.